shopping, the stores in the back. And what they've done is to start to say, what could this redevelop into? So what you see is they started some more streetscape. The buildings are just what we've talked about is with starting commercial on the bottom and residential above. As it develops out, you start seeing, now we go vertical. We've talked about this in the Crozet master plan. We can go 4 stories in our downtown district. So now you see, what they've done is moved the buildings up to the road, made it pedestrian friendly, bike lanes, etc. The street trees, and you can see the difference in the form from what was and what we've had into what could be. And a lot of that is using the zoning ordinances that are consistent with our downtown plan. So I think it's important to think long-term in Crozet that as we redevelop, and I think we will, may not be in my lifetime, but I think we will redevelop our downtown. And I think if we can keep, the development of 250, which we've been fighting for years, we may end up with something that, that we can really be proud of. We had actually talked, and we didn't do it last master plan, but there was talk of taking the area from the firehouse down to ConAgra and rezoning that to commercial mixed use. So, as they could, again, take the type of form of
what, say that again?
From the firehouse.
Weren't we talking about light industrial there? Or?
No, we're talking about making that a mixed use, residential, commercial from there down. The residents at the time, there was a mixed opinion, so we did not incorporate it into the master plan at that time. But, times and things change. So this is just looking at it from a different direction.
But now, so in these buildings, would we presume there is no commercial on the second floor? Because isn't that what we?
That's what what the original one was, is that, yeah, we didn't allow commercial. We had residential on the bottom, commercial on the bottom and residential on the top.
Because those buildings look like there had to be some commercial upstairs.
But again, you're talking about Berkmar at a much larger size and scale in Berkmar than we would have. This was a parking lot that, and again, they started from scratch. And again, these are illustrative of the form that can occur under the zoning text that's allowed now in county. And I thought it was interesting just to see what their view of how this form could take shape. And I think you can see this, you could probably have, in this form in a smaller venue where you have the commercial on the bottom and residential on the top, But it's interesting that as you start to develop these, the type of form that they want, it is pretty nice. This is actually the shopping center, the one up where the library is, the old North Library. And you can see how they're talking about how this might be developed. And that's 5 stories, a little bit taller than what we have. But again, you can see the format of how these things can build out and the form that it can take. And it's really, to me, it's appealing. And I think that, if we could apply some of these principles to our downtown, we can get the same kind of result. As a matter of fact, if you even look just outside, the streetscape itself has already started to form. So, we've had the first portion of it, and we can go from there. But I just thought it was interesting to be able to take his presentation, which is boring at best. You got to be a planner to really get little boxes and setbacks and side setbacks and that. But it's important. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's nice to be able to take that and put a graphic image in your mind and say, well, this is what we really, the kind of form we can have. This is what we should be shooting for. This is as far as I'm concerned, is a nice look, and I think is consistent with the neighborhood model that we've been working on since, I guess, 2000 or before. As a matter of fact, if you go back to the 1993, the first community plan in Crozet that we worked on, and although the graphics were not there, if you read the verbiage, it basically especially for the new people, to see what that zoning, the new zoning in the downtown will allow. So, and then we got back to this, I said, thank you, Ron. I just wanted, I thought it was a good presentation for them, to show us. I thought it was a good way to look at the neighborhood model and what it can achieve in the county and why the county has put so much time and energy into it. So, that's it, I just wanted,
I think these presentations are great. I think there's a really good real-world representation of that model in the new development of mixed use that surrounds the Whole Foods in Short Pump.
Yeah.
It's a very similar look and feel, and it's already built out. If anyone was over there, you can see what it looks and feels like.
Yeah. You don't have to go very far. You actually can go to Old Trail and see the beginnings of what it looks like, where they have the commercial on the bottom, residential there. Actually, we can see where they're building on the other side. I think they're going to have a mirror image of sort of that. So, we started down that process. But yes, you're right. There are a lot of good examples of this in and around. You can go up to Arlington. There's a town center there that they just built. I forget the Clarendon. Beautiful. I mean, obviously it's in a much more developed community.